What's up, everyone? It's been a while since I've done a video, so today I figured we'd do something fun and debunk some speculations that you see on the forums and online. I'm going to be doing a oil change on my 2020 Husky 150i, and I'm going to be showing you guys the correct location of the seep hole. We're going to be doing an oil change together so I can show you the correct amount of oil that goes into the bottom end, so you never have to open that weep hole and risk stripping out those threads, because it's a very common problem on these 2020 TPI models. But the issues are, especially on the 150s, the weep hole is not marked like on the 250s where it says oil on there. And I was online looking for it myself and seeing people giving some crazy locations. I mean, they're close and level, but it's not the correct location. I'm going to give you the correct location, and hopefully this helps you guys out. We're also going to debunk a couple things in the service manuals between the 250, the 300, and the 150. And let's get started. Alright guys, so what we're looking at here is the 250 XC TPI and the 300 XC TPI manual, and we got the owner manual for the 2020 150i, and we're going to be looking at the well, we're going to be looking for the oil page. Sorry, it might be hard to say. All right, so on there you can see that it's 0.80 liters, and I calculated that out to 800 milliliters, and 0.85 quarts equals out to 804 milliliters. But we're gonna debunk this because I don't feel like this is correct. My buddy has a 2020 250 XC, and he told me that he put about 730 milliliters in, and it started coming out, the oil started coming out the weep hole, and he claims it's because these numbers aren't, you know, wet. So in other words, this was, if the motor was completely bone dry, then it would take 800 milliliters. And a lot of people are like, oh, what's a couple extra milliliters or whatnot. It probably won't hurt anything in the 300s and the 250s, but in the 150s, the more oil you put in, the more clutch drag you'll get, and also we need as much power as we can on these bikes. So again, especially if you're using a thicker oil, the more oil you put in, the harder the motor has to work, and the less power gains that you're gonna you're gonna get, especially if you use a thicker oil. Like today I'm gonna be using the Bel-Ray 80 weight. They're recommending it. I was normally using the Motorex 1550, but today I'm gonna try something a little different because it's gonna be summer soon and it's gonna be hot, so it won't really matter. So anyways, I just want to clear this up. The 150 is saying it's taking 800 milliliters. Now we're gonna move over to the 250 and the 300. The 250 and the 300, again, 0.80 liters equals 800 milliliters. So it's the same. Now we're talking about this big ass motor to this little ass motor, but the bottom ends, I'm assuming, are pretty much close to equivalent in size internally. And so we're just going to debunk that all these 2020 TPIs are going to take the same amount of oil, considering in here in the owner's manual it's telling you that both are taking the same amount of oil. So here, I don't know if you can see that, it's showing the weep hole is right here behind the rear brake lever. spring, and this is for the 250. And if we take a walk over here, I don't know if you could see that, but you can clearly see that bolt, and it does say oil right under it. And if you can't see it on the video, you'll see it on your bike. But so we know where that one is. We don't need this manual anymore. So the 150i shows the same exact location behind the brake lever spring, and it says oil on it. So something tells me that they just used a fucking generic, this is for the 250 and the 300, but they didn't want to waste their time putting the correct location for the 150, and they just let everybody guess. And if we come over here on the 150, there is no bolt behind, you know, weep hole behind this spring. The closest one is the one all the way, I don't know if you can see that. That one right there. And there's no fucking way that you're putting that little bit of oil in this bike. So I'm going to show you exactly where the weep hole is for this bike. And people were saying it's here online. Other people were saying it's this one online. And this is just too, the oil level is too high. It's half. Now, the main purpose of the oil in these bikes is to lubricate the clutch plates, to lubricate the gears and the crank. That's it. Correct weep hole location, if you can see it all the way down in there, that is your correct weep hole location, where I'm assuming you're going to see the 730 milliliters after we do this little oil change. And the reason why I know it's the weep hole is because when you pull that off, there's a copper washer, and the weep holes, we all know, have the copper washer. So, you know, another thing I find weird is there's a secondary drain plug here. The main drain plug's on the other side, but you don't need to worry about this drain plug, because when you drain the oil on the other side, you just tip the bike and drain it all the way out. I tried draining oil from this side after it drained from that side, and almost nothing comes out, so you don't even have to worry about this side. So let's get started on this oil change and see what happens. Hey guys, I'm back, and as you can see, I got the bike leaned over on its side, and the reason why I did that is because I am going to be using this handy dandy tool, which is the oil drain hose, and it makes life a lot easier. So that way, if you got a skid plate, the oil is not going all over your skid plate and all under the motor, because it does. And this helps out a lot. If you don't have one of these, they're about $12 on eBay, or I think I got this on Amazon. But if you don't have one of these, you can make a funnel out of cardboard or paper and stick it under there, and it'll work the same way. So you're gonna need a 13 millimeter, and we're gonna pull this drain plug. It's got the copper washer in there. Careful not to lose that copper washer, and we will thread this drain hose in. It's only got to be hand tight. You don't got to go crazy tightening it. And you can see I got some shavings and stuff on here. I think I got about like 16 hours on this bike. Alright, so we got the bike up, and I got the fill cap off to help with this draining. I'll take this little cap out here, And the bike was warmed up before I started this video, because I learned my lesson doing that the first time. I totally forgot to warm up the bike, and this oil came out like molasses. It almost didn't even want to come out. So do yourself a favor, make sure the motor's at, you know, you warm up the oil, and it'll drain a lot easier. So this is a good tool. Like I said, it brings the oil way out from the oil pan. Otherwise, in this little galley right here, the oil is gonna just collect in there and then come down in the back, and it just makes a huge mess, and it's not fun. Because that was my first oil change. I learned the hard way, and I spent the 12 bucks on this this oil changing hose. Alright guys, the oil is drained, and I'm gonna stick the plug back in, but you know, just make absolutely sure that you clean all this gunk off, all the shavings and everything, before you put that back in there. It's common sense. Clean off the face of the drain hole too, if you want. And install. Alright guys, so now we're going to remove the weep hole screw. And again, it's right underneath of this one. It's inside this little cave here. And see how like not tight that was? That's literally how tight you got to do it, because you will strip those threads out so easily. But I'm doing this one time, and I'm gonna throw a little dab of thread lock on just to make absolute sure that that stays in there, and I am never pulling it out again. I'm doing this for science. In the sun, I'm on my driveway. I don't know if you can see that. So we got 800 there, 700 there. It's pretty much right in the middle, so it's like it's just under 750. So that's either 740 milliliters or 730. It's you know, they don't have the numbers in between, but I took a really close guess. So my bike right now is as level as it gets in my driveway, and I'm going to try to get you guys in as close as I can. Unfortunately, I don't know. Let's see if I can get this lower. Alright, let me get my funnel. And man, I know I can't see in there, so I know it's gonna be tough for you guys, but I'm gonna start pouring this in, and once we get close, I'll see where we're at. So I'm pouring it in now. Man, it's windy out. So once we get close, I'll zoom back in there and see if we can see anything coming out. Alright, we're getting gas right now. I'm going to continue pouring this in until I see something coming out. So we're almost there. And that's all of it. I used it all. That was 730 milliliters. It's starting to come out right now. So 750 milliliters is the exact. I don't know if you can see that, but it is coming out. So I'm gonna put this. Let me get some thread lock. And I know some of you are gonna be like, "Oh, don't thread lock it, yada yada yada." I'm putting like such a tiny dab on, but I don't care. It's my bike, and I never plan on opening that ever again. I actually probably put a little bit over. It's probably 740 because it was leaking out quite a bit. It was just taking a while. And when you tighten this, if you decide that you wanna do this on for yourself, I am telling you, that tight is all you do. It trust me when I tell you, just go that tight. And that's that. So my reasoning is why people are stripping that screw out is these are both basically the same engine, and I understand that I think the 250 is both slightly bigger, but it's I don't know if you can see it, it's 10 newton meters, and on the 150 it's 8 newton meters. So let's take a look at the sizes of the bolts. Ah, it's the same fucking size. So there you have it, guys. If you really want to do it the right way, I would go with the 8 newton meters instead of the 10 newton meters. I think 10 might be too much, so go with the 8 if you wanted to, or just barely snug it. Just, you know, do it by feel. But there you have it, guys. But my real reason for making this video is so that you never have to pull that seep hole bolt out and risk stripping it, when you know for a fact that 750 milliliters, to be on the safe side, will still be over. It will be over full, and it will be right here, which is, you know, just slightly under halfway of this clutch cover. So I'm going riding tomorrow, guys. I was getting my bike ready, and I don't know if you guys remember from the old videos, the purple or pink or whatever decals, but this is what she looks like now for the 2020 race season. So pretty happy with the way she came out. Did the KTM SX front fender conversion. I was going to do the number plate, but I really like having this yellow in the background,